I just want to let the record show that eggs smell like toots when they're first unraveled from the box. Like pretty heavy hellfire sulfuric fumes coming off these eggs right now. However, when they warm up, they taste fine. So it's just the initial thing you have to get over, and then it's fine. Just an initial wave of hell, and then you're fine. Good morning. Ooh, peep the Joey Graceffa merch. Let me show you. It says Crystal Wolf. Oh God, I can't show you. It's cute though, right? We gotta support Joey Graceffa and all of his pregnant cats. There's a lot of mouths to feed over there. I'm pretty sure that Joey Graceffa does not need the monetary support of a 28-year-old that still lives with her mother. I'm pretty sure he's fine. Cut to Joey Graceffa like stuffing money in an envelope and sending it back to me. Like, girl, you needed this more than me. It's so funny because it's sad and true. But you know what? We are leveling up in life because I got pre-qualified for a home loan. This doesn't mean anything except for I'm about to have an extreme amount of debt and be tethered to one location. Anyways, what are we doing today? That's the bigger, more relevant piece of this video. I decided that I want to try to meal prep for an entire week. Now, this is going to be a big challenge for me for a couple of reasons. A, I am terrible at planning. There's some kind of disconnect where I just can't do it. I'm more like big picture, like I know where I want to go. I don't necessarily know the steps and how to get there. And then also, I'm not really a fan of leftovers. And when you meal prep, you're eating a lot of leftovers. Some things just taste really gross warmed up again. But I think I put together a menu to kind of combat that a little bit. I filled out 3 sheets. It took me hours to put these 3 sheets together, which is really embarrassing because like it's literally just a grocery list. We also drew like little Tupperwares, like what Tupperwares I will need. That was kind of unnecessary, but kind of important. I'm a person that needs pictures. But we are more prepared than we have ever been to go into the grocery store. I tried to come here early. It's like 7:30 in the morning. There's still a lot of people, which I don't understand why. Like, it's too early for people. But regardless, let's go in there. Let's get this grocery shopping out of the way, and then let's cook for probably the rest of the day. Here we are getting Tupperwares. I saw a guy that looked like the guy from Queen's Gambit, and I kind of wanted to show you guys. I really fought the urge, but I don't think it's appropriate, so I didn't. But I'm overwhelmed with all these different sizes and shapes. Okay, so right away, I want to just say the shopping experience wasn't that bad at all. I've shopped with a grocery list before, but never something that was so strategically planned out, like all my meals for the week. So I didn't piddle around and get anything extra. I just got what I needed and got out, and I was good to go. So far that's a pro for meal prepping. I have a feeling I'm gonna notice a lot of cons when I start this whole production of cooking everything. But anyways, let's go home. Let's get at least like the breakfast meal cooking because I'm starting to get hungry. So for breakfast, we're gonna have like a breakfast taco moment. I'm gonna do 1 whole egg and then 2 servings of egg whites along with 2 slices of bacon and these street taco shells I found. And we're gonna be making our own fresh salsa out of these ingredients. Oh, and of course we're gonna have an avocado moment on the tacos. Then for the second meal, I'm gonna make some minestrone soup out of all of this, and then just have a really simple salad on the side with artichoke heart, turkey breast, and walnuts. And then my favorite dressing, which is this Primal Kitchen balsamic vinaigrette. And then for dinner, the only thing we're gonna be cooking ahead of time is I'm gonna be making this rice with mushrooms and onions. And then I'll be having cod, and I'll be alternating the vegetable between asparagus and broccoli. And this is risky for a couple of reasons. First of all, I am not very good at cooking fish. I mess it up every time, so we're gonna be cooking it every night this week. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get it right. I don't want to cook this ahead of time because I don't like meat rewarmed. It just always tastes gross no matter what kind of meat it is, and I typically, if I have leftovers, I just eat them cold, and I don't really want to eat cold meat for an entire week. So we're just gonna cook this as we go. And then at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna eat a banana and some PB2 just to kind of like curb my sweet tooth at the end of the night. And also I've been really wanting to try this for a while now, and we're finally doing it. Interesting, powdered peanut butter. And I got a couple of different storage containers. This Wumbo one for the soup, and then like these rectangular ones for other stuff. And I also got these reusable Ziploc baggies that are pretty cool. I got a pack of 10 of these from Amazon, but let's get to cooking so we could be done for the week. So here's meal number one. I just have to add the salsa on there. This is hard to do one-handed. Cool, so meal number one, I just packed it all in one thing. I figure if I divide this up into 6 meals, even if I get more on one day or less on the other, it will all end up evening out. Then we have our jar of salsa on the side. I'm gonna eat this like right now, immediately. The good news is the tacos are delicious. The bad news is I still have a lot to cook. That was disgusting. While the battery was charging on my phone, I went ahead and chopped a bunch of veggies. So we got the minestrone soup going right here and the rice going right here. Well, actually, there's no rice in it right now. It's just mushrooms and onions. We're just sauteing those, letting those get acquainted a little bit. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels very productive to have multiple burners going at once, making multiple meals at once. Who am I? So hopefully this food turns out good. I almost burnt breakfast a little bit because we got too ambitious making everything at the same time, but I digress. Overwhelmed. Uh-oh. We are in the final stages of meal prep for the week. And it feels like we have been cooking all day because we have. Anyway, we are portioning out some salad dressing. Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time. I am not that skilled. The problem that I'm like running into is fridge space to put all this stuff because I don't live alone. So it's not just me. And meal prep takes up a lot of space because you have, instead of like the bottle, you got like all these individual things. So that might be a con to this. And I only bought 4 of these. I thought it was a pack of 8, but I didn't read, So here's what we're gonna do, because I don't know about you, but soggy is not a texture that I want my salad to be. So I was gonna put like all the salads for the whole entire week in these bags, but we're gonna do a test run and just do tomorrow's salad. How I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna put like the soggy stuff on the bottom and the spinach on top and hopefully stand them up in a drawer like this. Okay, now some artichoke heart. Spinach. Got the nuts on top. And then that's the whole salad, and hopefully it doesn't get soggy. This angle is terrible, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's lunch. We have the minestrone soup and a huge salad on the side. Tons of veggies in this meal and very filling. And then here's the stuff we meal prepped for dinner, just the side dishes. I just went ahead and washed and cut the asparagus. This is still raw, so I'll just throw it in the oven with the fish and then it will cook super easy. So I'm just over here editing my Q&A that I have been editing for what seems like an eternity. We're getting closer. And yes, this is the posture that I edit in, just whatever's worse for my back. But like currently I am really full. I don't even want to think about dinner. But this is good news because I mentioned I've been having an insatiable appetite. So we're finally on the upswing, downswing, upswing. We're finally doing better. So that's very exciting. But I don't even want to think about cooking another meal. I'm gonna get back to the editing this Q&A so it would go up sometime this year and I'll stop procrastinating talking to you and making more things to edit. It's like Inception. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go away now. Okay, so I have taken a nap, a very long nap, and now it's significantly later, and we have to figure out how to cook fish, which, to be honest, I'm not really looking forward to. And I also realized that I didn't thaw anything out that I was supposed to, so this might be a terrible day one of fish dinner, but it can only get better, right? Started from the bottom, now we're here. Still terrible. Goodbye forever. And now we wait. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, the fish looks a little bit rubbery because we don't know how to cook fish properly. Okay, let's try it. You know what? That actually tastes really good. Are we a chef? Is Guy Fieri shaking in his flamethrower button downs? Is Guy Fieri even a chef? Or does he just like host stuff? Because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen him cook anything. This is a debate for another day, but this is actually really good and I'm really proud of myself. Okay, let's give this stuff a try. I've never tried powdered peanut butter before, but it'd be very interesting to see if it tastes any different. We got our nanner on the side, ready to go. It's not this serious. I'm sorry. Delicious. I will taste it first by itself. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. Well, it's definitely not as sweet as regular peanut butter, or the peanut butter that I'm used to anyway. Kind of just tastes like peanut sauce. Let's see what the banana has to say about this. Yeah, on its own, I can't imagine eating just like a peanut butter sandwich with this stuff because it's not sweet at all. But mixed with the sweetness of a banana, it slaps. So it's the end of my little experiment with meal prep, and I didn't film that much throughout the week because I can't imagine a world where you would be interested in watching me eat powdered peanut butter 7 times in a row. I figured that I would just kind of like write down pros and cons as I notice them and then just go through them like this at the end. But before we get into all that, let's talk about the weight I lost this week, because I did lose weight this week, which is very awesome because, as you guys know, like, I'm coming off of a binging episode. I faced the scale last week and I weighed 221.3 pounds. So when I stepped on the scale this morning and I weighed 217.9 pounds, I was very pleasantly surprised, very happy to see the scale going in the direction that I want it to go. And we lost 3.4 pounds this week. So that's awesome. Who knew that, like, you know, eating in a caloric deficit would have that effect. I do want to point out that I wasn't in an extreme caloric deficit. A lot of that's probably water weight. As I mentioned, I was eating a lot of salt and high volumes of food when I was in the whole throes of binging. But yeah, it feels awesome to just be going in the right direction. So let's talk about the pros and cons of meal prep, because there's definitely both. So I was very skeptical that I would enjoy meal prep at all, just because I tend to try not to have leftovers. I try to cook exactly the portion that I'll need. I'm not a fan of leftovers. And after doing this experiment, I definitely think it's 100% like the foods you choose to meal prep. Some of the foods that I chose did very well and tasted the same like day 1 as they did day 7, such as the minestrone soup, perfect for meal prep. The rice also held up really well, but some things definitely didn't hold up that well. 7 days is a long time. Like the eggs, by day 7, they got a little bit iffy. You know, they were just like sitting there in their apparatus with all the condensation and all the moisture, and they were just marinating in their own juices. And they tasted fine warmed up, but like me having seen what they got warmed from, I think that like kind of affected how I perceived the taste to be. Does that make any sense at all? Also, the salsa got really iffy really fast. So But a major pro for meal prep is the not counting calories. Like, I only had to do it the one time. And then for the rest of the week, I was just wild, woolly, and free to do whatever I wanted. However, I didn't have to worry about it this week because the meals were redundant. I was eating the same thing every day, which I typically do for like breakfast or like lunch. Like, you guys know the oatmeal fiasco of 2020, where I was just eating, I kept calling them overnight oats, but I kept making them the morning of for weeks on end, and like, that's fine. But there was variety as far as like, I wasn't eating the same thing for dinner. I wasn't eating the same thing for lunch. So yeah, that's just like another point to consider. So it really goes back and forth, back and forth. Like, we could play devil's advocate all day. I personally thought meal prep was better than I thought it was going to be. However, my expectations were very low. I think the answer for me lies somewhere in the middle. It was very helpful for this point in my journey to do this because, you know, it was pretty strict. It was like, okay, this is what I'm eating every day. It's this, and this. Everything's already laid out for you. You just got to eat it and go. And I think that that's what I needed. So this definitely helped, and I feel like I can transition into like more how I am normally. I'll probably meal prep some stuff, but probably not to this extent. We got put back on work at home orders, so that means that we're not going into the office. I just don't think with my current schedule that I'd have to be this rigorous or whatever. Like, I definitely have the time to cook. The whole lockdown thing, you know, what else am I gonna do? So but while I don't see myself going to like this whole extent every week, I can definitely see myself using it for like 1 or 2 meals, like breakfast or lunch. Maybe not a 7-day period, but maybe I'll meal prep 3 days of breakfast or 3 days of lunch at a time, just to keep everything kind of relatively fresh, and also kind of getting the benefits of convenience as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support the struggle, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because all of those things really help out the channel. And it feels really good to be back on track. So again, thank you so much for watching, for supporting me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!